Hello and welcome. My name is Alan. We are looking here at a recent well, not breaking, it's earlier in the day, I guess, that this happened. Uh, there was a, let me fix the screen here. Yeah, um, apparently there was a point earlier in the day that many of the people who supported Jair Bolsonaro stormed the Capitol since their candidate lost. Why does that sound familiar? Yeah, that's uh, this is from DW Dutch Welle, I think is how it's pronounced. Anyway, Deutsche Welle. Brazil Bolsonaro supporters stormed the National Congress. Hundreds of supporters of the former president have stormed the National Congress building, as well as the presidential palace and the Supreme Court. His backers have refused to accept leftist Lula's election victory. Is this what we've come to as a world? If the right wing doesn't win, then its supporters storm the gates. Is this what we're looking for? What we now have to look forward to in every democratic nation? After hours of chaos, Brazilian police have retaken the National Congress building after pro Bolsonaro protesters stormed the premises. Police are still in the process of clearing rioters from the Supreme Court headquarters, and the is that yeah Planalto presidential palace. Brazil's Chief Justice Rosa Weber on Sunday said the country's Supreme Court will work to ensure that terrorists were made an example of. See, they're like, yeah, we're going to make an example of them. Here in the U.S., we're too scared that we might anger other voters. Anyway, supporters of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro stormed the National Congress building in Brasilia earlier on Sunday. Hundreds of people invaded the building, calling for military intervention to overthrow President President Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. And supporters of the former president refused to accept that the populist autocrat lost his bid for re-election, claiming the election was stolen. Hardcore supporters have even openly called for a military coup to in order to put him back in charge, with some seeking to sow chaos through vandalism and violent attacks in hopes of triggering a military response. This is more or less a copycat version of what happened when Trump lost his election. His supporters, his diehards, were like, we don't care what the facts are. and stormed the Capitol. And that's what I'm saying. Well, is this what we're going to have to look forward to anytime there's a Democratic election and the right wing doesn't win? They're going to always storm the gates. They're going to be little whiny crybabies. Seriously. Is this what we have to look forward to as a world? They show a lot of footage. In fact, we got some footage here. Just another case of violent storming of a building of law. That's all. It like I said, it's just a freaking copy of what happened on January the 6th. This is so ridiculous. We got condemnation from world leaders. The U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan condemned the scenes unfolding in Brasilia and said the situation was being watched closely. U.S. President Joe Biden said the situation was outrageous. In Mexico, President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador took to Twitter to denounce what he called a reprehensible and anti-democratic coup attempt by conservatives in Brazil. French President Emmanuel Macron tweeted, "The will of the Brazilian people and the democratic institutions must be respected." Argentine President Alberto Fernandez called for unity in the region and offered his support to Lula. I want to express my repudiation of what is happening in Brasilia, my unconditional support and that of the Argentine people to Lula in the face of this coup attempt he is facing. So yeah. This is so ridiculous. My goodness. It looks an awful lot like January the 6th. Just vandalism of a public building, trying to rush it. But yeah, I wanted to point this out if you hadn't heard it yet. I'll go ahead and post these links in the description below the video as always. But, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something but you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. See you all in the next video. Until then, later.